Okay, so after that what we will be doing is we will be seeing how we can manipulate like a dates column. Okay, suppose we have given with a column that is dates, and we'll see how we can manipulate or change the values and make it according to our problem, or easy to handle them. Okay, like we will separate days. Suppose if we are given with a data set something like this in a day format, day, month and year format. Okay, so suppose we are given data like this, okay, date like this in this format. Okay, so what we'll do is we will try to convert this date column into something like some other variables as well, so that it will be easier for us to deal with it. Okay, so like in first like we can create a column that will be like our day, so it will contain all the information like about this data, and that will be only like day. So in this our date, so this 22 is the day, right? So we will be storing this information inside a separate column so that it can be fetched in a easier way whenever we require. Like similarly for month and year as well, like we can do the same thing with for month. In month we will have suppose say 05. Okay, so we will extract this data into a new column. Okay, so that we can, wherever we require the day, so we will just use this column. Like if you want to see any particular day, we want to compare day, if the particular sale or what particular data, okay, right, so is greater than or equal to this day, so we can do things like that using this. Okay, and we'll create another column like year. Okay, we will do things like this. How can we create new new columns? Okay, we will see how you value imputation, like how you fill the missing values. Okay, so what are the techniques, and we will see some code like you are given a data set, you have missing value, and we will see how you can fill them. Okay, and we'll see one hot encoding. Okay, last time what we have seen was we have seen on another encoding technique. Okay, right, like encoding is basically the thing that we have done previously, like you were having gender as we are specifying the male as 0 and female as 1, right? So this is basically your encoding, right? We are encoding our categorical data into our numerical data. Okay, so on the previous class we have dealt with ordinal encoding, right? In that this is what basically we do. We have a row, and in this whatever whichever data we have, we specify them like that. Okay, so there is also another topic for encoding, but this is pretty much different. Okay, wait, let me show you. Right, this thing we did this on last class, that we were handling the ordinal encoding, right? So we were having some categories like UG, school, PG, and we were creating the new we were replacing them with the new values here only in the same row, right? Means like PG will be replaced with 2 or 3, and UG will be replaced with 2, school will be replaced with 3, right? So we were doing this all in single column. Okay, so this is a technique, right? That is your ordinal encoding, remember this. Okay, and there is another technique, that is your one hot encoding. Okay, so what is this, we will be seeing at the end of this class. Okay, so starting off with yes. Hmm. 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 I got it. I got it. Hmm. So what you will do is, you will suppose say you will put a filter here, like you will say if month is greater than some value like 5, or say 2, like for February, right? And you will use use a operator there, that is your AND operator. Okay, in Python you have an AND operator. So you will say if any value, suppose say you want to combine them, this could be a one way. Okay, there could be another way as well of like doing both, but this could be a one way. Like you can check that the days before 22nd February you want to consider them, so you can do this way. Hmm. Hmm. Like you can say, yeah, you can say suppose uh, for example, like just take it, don't take it literally. We can say like you will get a student will get a holiday after 2020 of the, or your, like suppose say a student have to submit the fee after the 10th of the every month. Okay, for the case like that we will be using like day, and we'll be using day basically. Suppose say, yeah, suppose say you want to check the sales of a company, right? So that will be, you will be dealing with like on daily basis, like on a day basis, like you want to graph or you plot it. Hmm. No, no, like you say, you can say, suppose say you want to just compare on a daily basis, like on different months. You want to check first week, for the first week where you want to see is there any rise or drop on the sales. On the second week you will take the next 7 days, and you will say is there a rise, drop, or the sale is consistent. On the last week you see, on the last 7 days you see of every month the sale is going higher, like such thing you can do with it once you have. Okay, so same for months and year as well. Okay, so yes, so we can but first of all, basically first you need to know how you can do this stuff on a backend, right? Then we can use these things to create a scenario and put it there and use it on a real world situation. Okay, and yes, and similarly for the arbitrary value imputation. Okay, so like we will be seeing what it is. Okay, so let me first so any doubt till here? Okay, so let me open the and name it working with CSV file. Okay, so I'll be using a data set here. What? No, I was saying just that I will be using a data set here, and that I have to import. That will be, let me find the data. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. Actually, the data that you give is, yeah, it was ideal case, case scenario. But on the, while you are working with these stuff, so you want to have those inconsistencies on your data set so that you can handle them. So we are taking the data that is not the ideal. Okay, so suppose right, like most of the time in Kaggle also you will see the data set. Like if you don't know, the Kaggle is the site where you can find the data set and you can do some training of your model. So there you will see the data is already trained, like most of the time. No, sorry, pre-processed most of the time. but on the actual case scenario, like even you have to collect the data on your own, either by scraping it from some other websites, or by manually taking the data from somewhere by data entry. So I don't know why, but this data set is not importing. So did your issue got resolved, that of Google Colab? Because in my so it is not showing me the drive option. Yes, means it didn't got resolved, right? Okay, so let's see. Are you having, means like can you do is it a hindrance for your learning right now? Means is it hindering? Okay, okay, no problem. Okay, like no problem, but we can't actually because we will be having some time issues. Actually, we are even some half an hour late, so so I think we should just continue for now. Okay, so we will start and we'll see how we can deal with a CSV file. Okay, like this was a CSV file that we are having right now. To show you the CSV file, and just a second. So this is the CSV file. Here we have different is it the same? Yes. So here we have different columns and rows. So first of all, basically we will try to include that on our data set. Okay, so first we will import it. Yes, at the end of this class, also remember me if I forgot to give you a overview of further classes, how the further classes will be going on, like the syllabus and the topics or some concept that will be dealing on the further classes. Okay, so that will be of give you a mind map of, or the road map of how we will be working on the other classes. Okay, so first of all, the thing that you have to do every time is you have to import your all the libraries that you will be using while you are working. Okay, so see, whenever you are opening with a local file data set, you are using a function that is inside your pandas, that is a read CSV that we have already seen. Yeah, right. So we will create a data frame that will be a pd dot read underscore CSV. Inside this will be side org train. This is the name of our data set. I think I should copy. Oh, it is not loading. Why, I don't know. No, file is small. It's some problem with. So can I do this on Jupyter notebook? Will it be fine? Like I will be sharing you the Jupyter notebook itself. Okay, so just let me create a new. So the same thing, pandas is df.pd.read underscore CSV. This is a function name. Inside this, your function name, we have org train.csv. So we have seen a train test splitting, right, on the previous class. We will also try to see that how it works. Okay. So this is our DF, okay, data frame. Enroll ID, city, city development index, gender, relevant experience. Okay, so with this we have loaded our data into this data frame. Okay, so we will see another way of how we can use or import a CSV file from another URL. Okay, so suppose say we have a URL, for an example you have this. Okay, so this is a CSV file from a GitHub usercontent.com. Okay, so how we can load our data from this? Okay, so we have a library that is your request. Okay, so if you will see what your request library does is, it allows you to send HTTP request using Python. Okay, means you can access or use the internet using it. Okay, the information that is present inside your web. String IO. Okay, so this is another module or library. So what this does is, it basically is a in-memory file like object. Okay, so this is a way how you use it. You will have a string, you will pass this string inside your this string IO that we are using from importing from IO, and using this string IO method you can now you can have an object file that will be able to treat just like a file. Okay, so basically what it does is, see, here you have a string, right? So suppose say you want to work with it like it's just a file, like if you have gone through a file reading in Python. Okay, so how you read a file in a Python? You use you right, you have function like read, or you have a function like write, or you have like read lines, right? So now you can use those functions on your this string, right? So for this purpose your string IO will be used. Okay, so like for reading the data or converting the text into the file format. Okay, so inside this URL we will be passing this path of our URL. Okay, so if I copy this, yeah, any doubt? mm, Read the mm-hmm. Okay, to read the file. Okay, and are you familiar with the request? Okay. Hmm? If you want the actual definition, I can paste that here. Use. Okay. Okay. So we are specifying the URL here, from which URL do you want to get the data. Okay, now suppose say we search this so this is the CSV file. Okay, so here we have country, and second column is your region, like country, and the second column is your region. Okay, so this is your CSV file on this link. So now you want to extract this and use it on your Jupyter notebook. Okay, so how we will do that is, we have to give a code inside this header, like you have to specify for which browser you are using, and basically you have to use this with request so that you can extract the data. Okay, so now what we will do is we will use request. Okay, So in requests we have a get function. Here you have to pass the URL. In headers you have to give the headers. Okay, and now your data will be scraped on the request, and in data now we'll create another variable data, and now it will be in a readable format so that we can read it. We will use string io, and we can give it to the request.txt. So all the values that will be scraped from this URL will stored into this req variable, request variable. And now using this req.txt, we are using just the text from this URL, and using this string.io we are making it in a file type object. Okay, so now we are using this as a read underscore CSV. So we are doing some wrong headers, so we have created here headers. Okay, so now your this entire data is from this URL is usable in your Jupyter notebook. Now you can perform the computation or calculation or whatever you want to do with it. Okay, so this is your yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Mm-hmm. This yes, like on the basis of your device you have to give this values. Like most of the time you can use this because it will work for your most of the browser type. Like on browser, for on the basis of like browser compatibility you have to give it. Like for Mozilla with version 5, and for Macintosh Intel with version 10.14. Like the most of the time it will work this exact code, so you can exact copy paste and use it. Yes, by default. Okay, so this was your opening a CSV file from an URL. Okay, now we have a parameter that is SCP. Okay, so what this SCP does is will try to basically your this parameter is commonly associated with your functions like pandas underscore read CSV. Okay, this thing. Okay, and it is used basically used to specify the delimiters or separators used in a CSV file. Okay, so if you see how it works is suppose say you have a file in a TSV type. If I give you the this in this here you see the file format is in CSV, but here we have the file format in TSV. Okay, so if we try to read this particular file format, you have to specify the separators. Okay, so like here we have to just giving the file name. The file name is your movies movie underscore title underscore metadata dot tsv. Okay, so here we are using a separator. So in the CSV you have your separator like comma, right? So but in, suppose say if you have a file but there is the separating value is not C or the comma, so there you can use a parameter that will be your SCP, and inside this SCP you have to specify what is the separator. Okay, so like here we are having our separator that will be your T. Okay, so that you have to specify in this your SCP. So what is the basically the separator is. Okay, and now after this you can also have another parameter that will be basically your names. So what will be the name of your column? Okay, you can name your columns. Suppose say here we are specifying the first column to be named as S number. Okay, and the second column we are naming name. Third release year. And genre. Okay, now you see all the names of that we have specified have been given to the column name. Okay, here, and the data set was the separated with a T, and it perfectly have fetched the values. I cannot actually open it with the txt format. Txt editor. Okay, so basically here the values are not separated with your commas. Okay, so you can take them to your data frame by using this separator parameter. Okay, so now another parameter is your index column. You can index any values from them and make it as your index. Like here we have index as starting from 0 1 2 3, and we haven't named it right now. Okay, so what we can do is we can basically specify our like any column and specify it as our specify it as our uh, 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 what we say index value, right? Suppose I want index value to be our enroll ID. So what basically I will say is I will give it a parameter that will be suppose I have to write, let me write here only. Suppose I will give another parameter index so this is your parameter name. Here you have to say enrollee ID. So on the basis of this exact your column, okay, so your data frame will be indexed. Okay, so if you have run this again, now you see your whole data set is arranged through this index number. Yes, series number got disappeared because it was actually auto generated with this Jupyter notebook. And yeah, and now you can also do one thing, you can rearrange them. It is not rearranged, it is actually rearranged as it was earlier, like because as it was earlier it was on the same manner, it is not sorted right now. Okay, so now the next step could be to sort it. Okay, like the most the column parameters Okay, so basically these are the things, and like while reading the CSV file or your data you can do. Okay, so at last you can just check your data type of your data using this read CSV file. Suppose say you are at the time of reading this, you also want to check the data type. So we will give this data file data set a name here, and we have a function that is d type. So it will give you the type of the columns, like integer, string, or object. Okay, so here you can say target int dot info. Okay, so suppose just you want to find the information of this data type, that is your integer. Okay, so if you run this, yes, so basically you have to not assign this on a new hmm, hmm, hmm. Okay. Okay, so like it have given you the data type of every column, like enrollee ID is your integer 64, city is your object, and your city development index is your float. Okay, and these are your integer, like you can see that the integer value are your numerical data types. Okay, so now let's just quickly start with the date time thing, like how we can deal with those dates and convert them on the actually what I let me tell you that yesterday my health was also some little bit not means I also got sick due to the seasonal change. Hmm. That's why yeah, here the weather is like changing, like till now it was winter now, so it is getting some cold, like windy. Yeah, that actually that's why actually I didn't got some time to prepare for today's, so that you will be seeing that it is not a bit interesting today, but just let me if we will do that 15 just a minute later, but let me we can complete this date. Just yes. Okay, so we can do this date thing for today. So this is your code. So basically you have the two libraries that you have to import, like for this code, that is your numpy for your if you remember, for your numerical calculation, and your pandas for your data manipulation. Okay, so in pandas we have a, as I told you how you can read, you can basically use read underscore CSV. Here we are giving the two CSV file, one is your orders.csv and another is your messages.csv. Okay, so these both are the completely different data set. Okay, so one data set is your this, like it is your date dot head, we are storing this orders.csv in this date. Okay, so this is your orders.csv this. Okay, so there are 4 columns, one is your date. Okay, another column of your orders.csv is product id, city id, and your orders. Okay, and you have another data set that is your messages.csv. Okay, so in your messages.csv there are 2 columns. Okay, so the first column is your date. Okay, and your second column is your messages. Okay, in this date you have also like time. Okay, so this data is of your messages.csv. Okay, and we are storing it as a time. Okay, so in date we have just date, and in time data set, data frame, we have date with as well as time. Okay, so now if you check what is the let me rerun it again. So now if you check what is the data type of this date, right? If you will try to check it, it is your object. Okay, so what this mean is it is your basically currently it is your categorical variable. Okay, so if yes, so if we convert this date, okay, into our data frame, no, sorry, data time, date time. Okay, so after converting this is your code. Here we have a function inside your pandas that will convert your date basically this date format into your date time. Okay, so currently it is if you see, it is your object, like it is your categorical variable, or we cannot perform computation to it, like we cannot compare, or we cannot add, subtract, or do anything. Okay, so we have a object, we have a function in pandas that is your to date time. It will basically take that categorical variable that is your date, and it will change all these object values into your integer values. Okay, so that we can perform our calculation, or we can change make changes accordingly. Okay, so here we have object. If you see O, it is denoting the object. Okay, so I have run this code that is converting the date, time, and data type. Okay, date, time, data type. So basically your object is a data type, integer is a data type. Okay, so we have converted it, and if you will check now, it is your this particular thing. Okay, so this stands for your date time. Okay, so now we can perform all the thing that we can do it with a date time. Okay, so now if you will check that, if you will see the date time dot head, it looks something like this. Okay, if you will print the info of your date data set, it is your 4 columns. First is your object, date is your object, and the other two are your integer. If you will check your time data set, both of them are object, like this date is also object, and this message is also object. Okay, and now after converting the data set, that is your date time, to that was your object, to date time, now you can print the data type. It is your in date time. Okay, now you can see print the info. You will see the date time data type here. Okay, date time 64. Earlier it was object. Okay, now you can perform the computation, and now you can use the methods that are with date time. Okay, data type. So first of all is extracting year. Okay, so this was our date. This, suppose if we want to create a new column, and inside that column we want to store just the year name 2019. So we'll create another column. By doing this, you specify that inside a new column that is named as a date year, and date is your data frame name of the data frame. Okay, so this was the data frame name. This, inside this data frame, that is your date, you will create a new column that will be your date underscore year. Okay, and what you have to store inside this new column will be this. Okay, so what is this is, this is basically your date column, this column dot dt means date time, and inside this date time we have a method that is year. So in this date time module, we have year, month, and day. So we can classify using these function. It will return you just the value for your year. So we have used this, and if you will use by typing this date dot sample, and inside this sample you will pass a number that you want to see how many rows. So you will find a new data frame that exactly creates a new column with a name of date underscore year, and stores all the values from this date and just the year name. Okay, and same thing we do for extracting month. We use dot month, dt dot month, and we will store it in a new column. Okay, now we have to store, now we have stored it in a new column. Same thing for the month name. Suppose say we can specify the month name. Inside this we have also a month name function. So this is already written. If you want, you can create your new function also, like if your date month number equals to 1, like you can write your Python function here. Okay, like if else conditional statement. If your date underscore month number is 1, you can specify January. If your date underscore month underscore num is equals to 2, you can specify February, like that. Okay, so basically this month underscore name does that. Okay, it gives the name of the month. Now you see here, this was the date. It have said that this was in December, this was in your August, this was in your October. Okay, so you can just directly use the pre-built function. Same thing you for the days, day. Okay, and day of the week. Okay, this will be the day of the week, and these things you can try and let me know if any problem occurs. Okay, and basically we are dropping the other columns. We can use this drop function from our data frame, and we are dropping these basically the columns. Okay, and here we are creating a code that is basically for date is weekend, yes or no. So basically 0 if the date is yes, and 1 if the date is not the weekend. Like it will check if the Sunday and Saturday, yes, wait, yes, 1 is weekend and 0 is the not weekend. Okay, so it will check if your Sunday and Saturday is in this date underscore dow name. Okay, so it will basically try to check if this value is present inside this, and if yes, so it will be replacing the Sunday with 1, and Sunday and Saturday with 1, and other values with 0. Okay, so np numpy that we have used dot where clause here we are using, and inside where clause we are specifying the column name. Inside this column name we are checking is in this Sunday and Saturday is in this column or not. Okay, and we are creating a new column and storing these values, and by replacing them with these. Okay, so now we have got if the date is weekend or not. Okay, so similarly you can do for the week also, like this is the 50th week of your 2019th year, this thing. Okay, and the 33, this was the 33 week for your August 2018. So like this stuff you can do that are already pre-built inside this date time. Same for exact quarters. Okay, and now let me just to give you the concepts or syllabus that we'll be going through. Okay, so we are at this stage, like in the fourth day here. So this thing we will be seeing, like handling the missing values, encoding the categorical data, like we have seen one of them, that is your ordinal encoding, and we have to see now this one hot encoding. Okay, so we have seen the ordinal encoding, and now this one hot encoding is left, and inside this missing handling data we have our arbitrary value imputation, like filling missing values. Okay, so this will be in our handling missing data. And then we have feature scaling, so we will be changing the values from our features. Okay, and then we will have train test splitting that we have seen on our class, like splitting our data on our 70/30 or 20/80 ratio, so for our training and evaluation purpose. 70% for training our model and 30 or 20 for evaluating how our data is performing, how the predictions are as compared to the actual values. Okay, and some of the part from this exploratory data we have done in the day 1 and day 2, like the descriptive statistics and data visualization, and the bivariate analysis and multivariate analysis that comes on your data exploratory part. Okay, and we haven't gone through this concept because I thought I am taking into consideration that you have already gone through them, right? Or have I to just give you a quick 1 hour session on this numpy pandas? Okay, just overview. Okay, okay. Okay, just a usage based. Okay. Okay, so we will be doing that. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we will be taking a half an hour to one session here. Okay, and in the some exploratory data analysis part is done. Like the main of the thing here is your univariate and bivariate, like handling single variable and your multivariable or your bivariate. In bivariate there comes two variable. Okay, in multivariate you have multiple variables, and you try to visualize them. Okay, visualize them using your matplotlib and seaborn that we have seen. Okay, and correlation analysis, right? We have used a library that was our pandas profiling to find the correlation between them. Okay, like we have used a heat map, like that box thing. Like we have used our pandas profiling, and we have seen heat maps. Okay, so that basically gives you an idea of how correlated your data points are. Okay, and once that this whole thing's done, on the 7th or the 8th day we will be starting with the machine learning, like the core machine learning part. Okay, like what are the overview of machine learning concepts, what are the supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning, and what is the what is the difference in those. Basically I will try to give you some example, like some analogies basically. Okay, and we'll try to see understand how machine learning workflow. Like I have basically overview I have given to you, like we have a data set, we pass it into a model, and it gives the output. It checks how the value is with actual, and how value is compared to the actual value and predicted value, and if our like our model don't give us value as we want, we will again give it as a feedback to on our machine learning model, and we'll try to change the parameters basically. So this will be your machine learning workflow. So we'll be dealing with in a depth, we will see how actually it works. Okay, another day 9 and 10 we will be dealing with just supervised learning, that will be your regression. Regression is basically getting some output based, okay, like a price of your house price. So problem like this are referred as regression. Okay, so like you are predicting your price of your house, like for an example 200k, right, or 300k. Like you are suppose you are, this will be your continuous value, like 296 point something something k, right, or 2.9948 m. Okay, so this is your regression value. It is basically regress, trying to predict it on a range of numbers. Okay, and like your flight price prediction. Okay, and basically wherever, or say uh, 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 wait, let me give you an example of classification, you will get it. Okay, or this is just like in regression you try to predict some value, okay, basically continuous value. Okay, and in classification you have discrete value, like you are given with an image of dog and cat, like discrete values, there are only just two, and you will classify whether this image is of, you are given a new image and you have to classify this image is of dog or this image is of cat. So these such problems comes under this classification problem. Okay, and on the day 13 we'll be doing some unsupervised learning and model deployment, how you deploy, like how you will put your, once you have created a machine learning model, how you will integrate this with your suppose say website. Okay, so that user may interact with it, like you will create some form for taking user input, the data, suppose say new data that we want for prediction, we will be taking these input values and we will be feeding this input value on our backend to our model, input values to our model, and our model will predict some values and we will show those prediction live on our website for our users. So we will try to build a project something like this at the end of this this session. Okay, so we will try to create a website that basically takes the user input and perform the machine learning calculations or machine learning algorithm, and will predict some values and we will show those predicted values to the user live on the website. Okay, so this will be a project and we will see like some advanced topics, just to name a few, like natural language processing. Okay, so in natural language processing what you basically do is you try to deal with textual data, like good. Suppose I say this course is good. Okay, so basically this, on this natural language processing, we try to give our model this text and our model will try to analyze, suppose say for an example, sentiment of this text. So here we just try to give some more intelligence to our device or system, like now it can actually read the human language, understand the human language. So it will say that the sentiment of user is good, or suppose say happy. Now the user is happy. Okay, So basically, first of all, I will try to take an example that we will scrap the data from YouTube comment, and we'll try to do sentiment analysis on that, right? So we will have some videos like on YouTube, and the comments are there like a nice video, or some people comments, some people have some negative comments, and we'll try to filter them, like happy, sad, or rude. We can do stuff like that. So what this basically natural language processing does is tries to understand the human language. So there are many techniques that are involved in doing this, uh, that makes it pretty much complex. Okay, so for this for this, while we will just use it in a project, I will not try to explain it because it will more confuse you. Okay, so we will do just this much. Yes, we will be going in deep with supervised learning and unsupervised learning, and for regression and classification as well. Okay, yes, and that's it for this overview of the classes. Okay, if you want, I will be sharing this with you. Okay, okay, so